welcome to another episode of the Achievers Pod, where we bring to you awesome guests, phenomenal women who share their success stories and also, giving us insight and tips into building a successful career, successful business, relationship, and everything that pertains to women. Family relationship, you name it, is never ending. And every day I am always so excited. And each time I get an opportunity, to sit down with another phenomenal woman, I am so thrilled. Well, my name is Victoria Showumi, aka First Lady V. I am your host. And today I have another powerhouse woman in the house. And let me tell you, we are going to be talking business. If you have been thinking about business, you are in business, you are stuck, you don't know how to move forward from here, you're kind of wondering what is out there for you, let me tell you, this is for you. You may quickly want to grab your notebook right now and grab your pen, your device, whatever it is, because we are going to be diving in and it's really going to be a lot of information. I hope you're ready for this. So today, like I said, excited, I have this awesome woman, Joy Kyula. So in Nairobi, Kenya, let me tell you, each time I meet women in Kenya, they are awesome. My God, they are powerhouse women. So she is so passionate, let me tell you, about empowering African women entrepreneurs and driving positive change across the sub-Saharan Africa. And she is an international woman, okay? Because when she starts sharing her story, you will get insight, more insight into her life. But today we are going to be talking about business because that is what she does. And she has access to resources and information. And let me quickly share this before I bring her here. She has served at the African Women's Entrepreneurship Program, AWEB, which is an initiative that is launched, by the United States government. And today we're going to be talking about everything that has to do with business. Let me tell you this, if you meet with her and you are doing business, your business will not remain the same again. So join me as we welcome Lady Joy. Hello.
Hello, Victoria. How are you, Jumbo?
I am doing fantastic. And thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us.
It's an honor and a blessing to be here. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. So we have a lot to talk today. But before we get started, I just want people to have insight into you, to kind of get to know who you are so that they can know what to expect. If you can just take a minute to just, share a little bit, whatever you want the audience to know, whatever you want us to know more about you, please share with us.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Victoria. Such an honor and such a joy to be on your show. Thank you to the audience for having me on here. My name is Joy Kyula, as Victoria has said. I'm based in Nairobi, Kenya. I do wear different hats. So as Victoria has said, I do have a consulting firm that focuses on empowering women and small, medium enterprises, just connecting them to opportunities both on a local and global scale. But I have the opportunity to work in the fintech space. We are in the business of ethical lending and providing innovative solutions that give financial inclusion and just being innovative in the space that we're in. So I've been in this sector for about 3 years. And over and above that, I'm what we call a kingdom champion. So I champion supporting those who are doing business in the marketplace and are faith-driven. So I'm part of a group called the Ruach Business Community. We've partnered with the faith-driven entrepreneurs, which I'll be talking about. It's a global movement that is supporting faith-driven entrepreneurs across the globe. They're in 100 countries. And ours is just to help people to discover and fulfill their God-given call and mandate in the marketplace and support them to thrive. So like I said, I do wear different hats, but yes, I think for today's meeting, we'll focus on my role in the rock business community as a leader, and also in the fintech space that I'm working in. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I know you wear multiple hats, and I think the
Yeah.
core of everything is to support people out there, especially the faith-based and the faith-based community. So I have a few questions for you, of course, so that people can get to know more and also to see how they can have access to some of the information that you are able to gather over the years. So let us know what kind of lead you to business? Because I see you do a lot of things, for young individuals, mentoring people in the business space. So what actually draws your attention into business?
Awesome. I think one, Victoria, it's being able to discover your purpose.
Hmm.
And I realized from a long time I was passionate about just connecting people. I meet you today and I want to know what are you doing, and looking into, my networks, or, people that I work with, and seeing how I can help you. So that's something that I was passionate about for a long time. And over time it's grown into purpose, where I found myself, even the current place I'm at, the rock business community, just very passionate about, finding out what is this entrepreneur doing, what is their need, what connection do they need. And because of just a number of years I've been in the marketplace, being able to grow and, build networks, just to see how to connect people to help them all to discover their purpose. So I would say I'm driven by the passion, but also passion that has turned into purpose and fulfilling my God-given mandate on the earth, which I believe is to connect people to discover, their purposes and strengthen that.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
fascinating. That just being able to fulfill your own calling, your own purpose, understanding this is the area that God has called you into, and then you are
Mm.
really kind of leading the force and taking charge of that. So, I won't lead businesses, and I won't interact with a lot of business people, aspiring entrepreneurs, either small scale business people, middle scales, large scale. What are some of the common challenges, common problems that you see that is across the board for these entrepreneurs?
All right. I could write a book, but I'm just gonna give a few. I think one is having a scarcity mentality vis-a-vis having a mentality of abundance. In my space, I've seen sometimes that can be a major setback, where you're in a space, and instead of having an abundant mentality to understand that God has given us enough resources
Hmm.
in this earth for us to, there's enough for everybody. We sort of have this scarcity mentality where we hoard things and feel that, it's only enough for me. I'll give you an example.
Hmm.
God gave me an opportunity to travel to Ireland a few years ago. And, we had a lot of opportunities, and we also went into Morocco. At that time, I was with AWEP, I believe. And, there was an opportunity for us to work with, those in the agribusiness space
Hmm.
to get their products into these markets, right?
Hmm.
So I come back and I'm excited, and I'm like, hey, can we get like sort of a conglomerate to bring people together, and let's supply, whether it's to the UAE or to Morocco, or whatever country it is. And you find that sometimes as entrepreneurs, we don't want to have that conglomerate way of working together. We want to work in our silos. And that
Hmm.
for me is a scarcity mentality, where you're only thinking about me vis-a-vis what can we do when we put our heads together as, as a group of entrepreneurs, say within the same field. I think the other common issues we find is access to capital, access to, friendly financing for your business. We also have the issue on access to relevant information. But sometimes I feel that information can become too much if you're not doing anything with the
Hmm.
information that you get. Also, just being very clear on your purpose and your calling in life. Sometimes we're quick to jump to what the neighbor is doing just because it looks like it's a lucrative business, but not necessarily because that's what God has called you to do. I think there's also the issue of when we've made it in life, and this is one of the things that I'm being very intentional about is, do I go back and give those who are coming up the knowledge I've acquired? Do I teach them? Do I share with them my lessons learned? Do I share with them my failures, where we've gone wrong, what can be done better? So just having that space to be able to help people grow, maybe because of the experiences you've had, and also allowing ourselves to be mentored. I think, Victoria, I'll be honest, one of the things I've noticed that we struggle a lot here is, we have such a silo mentality. You want to work in your own
You
silo, but
do.
there is power in coming together and saying, this person has gone ahead of us, this person has done what I'm trying to do. Can I learn from this person? Can I learn from the experiences so that I don't necessarily make the same mistakes or take 5 years to do what it is that maybe I could have done in 1 year. So just that space of being allowing ourselves to learn, and then just the power of networking and leveraging off on that. Part of our biggest successes in the business and the space that I'm in has come through the power of networking.
Networking.
So I think part of what, and please stop me because I could go on and on, but I think it's important that like this evening I was at a networking event, and it was an awesome event, and it was one of the faith-driven entrepreneurs event. We're actually doing the global conference, and I was saying to them, don't be in a hurry to leave this room. That destiny helper, that divine helper you're looking for could be seated right next to you.
Next to you. That is
Could be the
true.
thing, I need to get out of here. I need to go. Always in a race, but yet maybe that, and it was lovely. We finished the event and we had about an hour or so just to meet people
With
and
people
network,
interact.
get to meet a contact that would be relevant to your business, to your personal growth. So very, very important that we take time and have that balance, and also just find networks, professional networks, personal networks that help us grow. Yeah.
You have done justice to that question. Because we have a lot of women, whether in Africa, whether here in the United States, that are starting business. And these are some of the challenges, that they encounter. And these are the things, like you've said, that can actually really kind of hold them hostage. I would say that we kind of hinder their progress in their business success. And one thing you mentioned, which I really want you to be able to elaborate more on, actually two things, probably we can combine both together, is the scarcity mindset, the scarcity mentality, and also the belief that I can do everything by myself and not being open to partnership or to collaboration. Can you share how those two things, or maybe one combined, can actually hinder the growth of any business or can actually limit the success of an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. Definitely on the scarcity mentality or believing you can do things on your own, those come with limitations because one, that's an attitude of, I know it all and I don't need to get help.
Yeah.
That already a hindrance in itself. But also understanding that the God, and please allow me to say this because I am a faith-driven entrepreneur. So,
Go for
God is
it.
of what I do, it's understanding that he is a creator of the earth, that he owns everything. And so the earth is
Absolutely.
his, like when we do business here, we don't see ourselves as Kenyans. We see ourselves as global citizens. That the solutions we're offering here, we're able to offer them, not just within Kenya, but to many other countries out in the world. So I think when you realize that there's enough of the pie to go around. And Victoria, you and I are Africans, and I think we've seen that even within our leadership, where because you only think of you, you end up hogging everything for you. Even when there
yourself.
is enough to go around the table, you will just think of me, myself, my family, and I. But God has called us to, a higher calling. God has called us to, be mindful of that brother, that sister sitting next to me in the church, in the workplace.
Mm.
Am I cognizant enough that what I do is not just for me, but also for the benefit of that believer that is next to me, and that there's enough opportunity to go around. Victoria, I've in my time of um, working with a lot of women in business
Mm.
and SMEs here. The other day we were at quite a big meeting. It was an agribusiness meeting, and I remember I was sitting around some amazing women, and I remember telling them, it's interesting that I've been in this space for 5 years, and every time I come to these meetings,
Mm.
it's like this rewinding tape. Like we never seem to progress. Like we never seem
Progressive.
to forward. And I said, where could we be going wrong? Even as myself, I was challenging myself and saying, why are we having the same conversation we had 5 years ago?
Mm.
Why are we not seeing new entrepreneurs being churned out
Mm.
in this space that we're in, say like agribusiness or if it's arts or creatives? Why is it always the same people? And
People.
I began to realize it's because of that silo mentality that
Mm.
we do business just thinking about us. We don't think about how do we grow, those others within our sectors. How do we build the younger ones who are coming up? I always hear when I go to these meetings, oh, access to markets is a problem. No, access to markets is not a problem.
Mm.
If you have had the opportunity to work with organizations like ITC She Trades, and that's another thing, continuous learning, exposing
Mm.
yourself to them. They have this course that I one time took, and it was talking about the export potential.
Mm.
So, like for in Kenya, we are
Yeah.
known to be one of the top exporters of coffee and flowers and tea. But when you put us on a global scale, we
Scale.
have
Mm.
to come to the surface. We
Wow.
export part of the best mangoes and the best avocados to the world.
Mm.
And we've seen a growth in that. But when you put us on a global scale and compare us with, other countries across the globe doing that, we're a drop in the ocean.
Mm.
And so saying there's enough to go around. I think that's what I'm trying to say, Victoria.
Yes, there is enough to go around.
Scarcity mentality, if we decided to partner with the women in Houston, and because I know you're in Houston and us women, there's enough for us to sit together and say, hey, what can we do together?
Mhm.
Can we find the adequate resources we need, the adequate contacts we need? But that goes back to when you're doing what you do with purpose
With
and
purpose.
understanding that there's a higher mandate because God is the one who gives us the purpose and the desires that we have, and it's for His purposes to prevail, right? So when you
Yes.
understand that what you're doing is not for you, you
Hmm.
know, my pastor is also a marketplace leader, and he's so big on community engagement because he says there is no need for you to come to church with your big car and looking all fancy and the person seated next to you or 2 rows behind you has no food.
Hmm.
God's kingdom, that something is wrong with that
It's wrong
picture.
with that picture.
So moving from the I to the what can we
We.
do
Hmm.
to be solutions to those within our community, within our space, whatever community you're in,
Hmm.
what to impact that person that's next to you. So I think when we move from having that scarcity mentality and feeling that it's all about me, and I love a beautiful, beautiful story I had a few years ago, again by the ITC group, and they went into this rural area in Kenya. So the area is called Kandara, I believe, and they have the best avocados in the
Oh,
world.
wow.
The best avocados.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the challenge that our young women or our women in agribusiness face is, they provide, the labor, like 70% of the
Yes.
labor provided is from our women, but
Mm-hmm. You're right
look
on
at
that.
they're lavishing in poverty, they have no money to feed their children or take their children to school. It's such a challenge, but yet they have a gold mine, with the avocados that they do. But because we have all these cartels and, we have all these brokers who've come in,
Mm.
so whereas the woman should be selling this avocado, say, for 10, 15 shillings, she's selling it at 3 shillings. And you
Chilies.
see that
Oh,
also
my.
in the space, and they work tirelessly. They,
Mm-hmm. On the
such hard
farm.
labor. They are such a key fundamental resource to that value chain. And so what this project did is they actually took this community and they said, you know what? Let's organize this community. You
Mm.
all grow avocados and we need this variety of avocados to Europe.
Oh.
And they worked with them and they trained them. They did it end to end. So they got the buyers,
Mm-hmm.
takers who would take their produce when
The
it's ready
produce.
for Europe
Yes.
market. They trained the women, so they build them on the standards and the
Oh.
capacity, the quantities that's needed. And
Mm.
when the process is over, they were able to export this
Avocados.
avocado. Instead of the 2 shillings per avocado, they did it at 10 to 15 shillings.
Oh, my.
They
What an
all
increase.
Yes, and so you can imagine the impact that has in that home.
Yes.
She's able to educate, there's improved livelihoods. You've increased the revenue that's coming to that home. You've built her self-esteem. So for me, that's what abundant mentality is, that you
Mentality, yes.
understand that there's enough for everybody. It's not about one person
One
who needs
person and just holding on to everything. Hmm.
exactly. Yes. And when you think God wants us to think beyond just us, it's
Yes.
all with that, who's around us, in our country, is there a need that only 10% of, our people are the most wealthiest and 90% are lavish in poverty, cannot afford
Poverty.
healthcare, cannot afford
Even
food.
food, yes.
What is the need of all that wealth? And one day we all will leave this earth. So it's about being purposeful in life, is what is what I'm saying.
I
Yeah.
mean, you have really said it so well, and even with the example that you shared, as a woman, whoever is listening and watching this, it just be thinking outside of you, because when you have the scarcity mindset, like you were saying, and you just focusing on just you and your immediate family, is going to restrict your growth and is going to
Yeah.
restrict the blessing. But look at the
Mm,
example that she was giving. Look at these women working so hard and just selling something for 3 shillings. But now when they open up to collaboration, open up to resources, partner with all these other organizations and open to mentoring, open to access to resources for them to train them, to put them in the right path, they were able to actually not just double, triple, or quadruple their sale. And that is abundance. That is what we are talking about. So if you are
mm,
in a business, she said there is more to go around. Honestly, every day you know how many kids, how many children are born every day. So we continue
mhm.
to grow until this world sees no more. There is
Yeah.
always going to be enough for you. So think outside of me mindset, like just
Mm,
me, I will do it my own little way. And I
mm,
also think that when people do it in their own little way, in their own with that scarcity mindset, they are going to use a lot of energy. They're going to expend a lot of energy. They're going to work so hard, and then the output is not going to be as much compared to
mm,
when you are open up to the abundance mindset. Okay, so
yeah.
that is going to take me to another topic,
Yeah.
because I'm enjoying this, talking about collaboration. Because when we
Right.
talk about scarcity mindset and then we talk about abundance mindset, there are
Mm.
two separate things. And I think one thing is when somebody has that scarcity mindset, it's just you and you alone. But when you are thinking
Mm.
of abundance, that means you are open to collaborating
Yeah.
with other people. You are open to whatever is out there. Can you speak on that?
Absolutely. There's power in collaboration and there's power in partnerships. I am a strong believer of that. And it's about identifying strategic collaborations, strategic partnerships that will help you grow, that will help you have quantum leaps in what you do. And not just, wanting to do it on your own. It's about strategically finding the collaborative partnerships that you need to grow you to your next level, right? And there's something I love in the business world. They call it, excuse me, they call it piggybacking.
Mm,
You know, so and this is part of collaboration. So when you find a bigger
piggybacking.
brand, yes, so you can find a bigger brand that's been there for longer time than you have when you're getting into business, and they give you an opportunity to ride on their brand,
Mm,
so that you can grow in your numbers, you can grow in your sales, and they also have a win-win because they're supporting you now to grow, as a business. So I think it's important that even as in the community that I am in with the faith-driven entrepreneurs, we've launched something called the Nairobi City Network. And what that has done is it's brought together now the different churches within the city
mm,
that are running this program. What does that mean? That means more resources for us. That means more opportunities to learn. That means more synergies. There's also the cost effectiveness or economies of scale. If we need to
mm.
do something, you have a greater pool of resources that you can spread the costs that maybe may come up. So I'm a big believer, a firm believer of collaborations. It's definitely the way to go, and strategic partnerships that will build you to the next level.
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you. As you were talking about strategic collaboration and strategic partnership, one thing also is that I think when people are open to that, it really, really exposes them as well and it gives them more opportunity. Because you were talking about piggybacking, maybe with other companies who has been in existence for many, many years, who have built the brand, who have built the name, who have access to resources and have
Yeah.
access to either, client base. And when someone is able to, partner with such organization, now is actually elevating such business person, it's giving them more platform, like you said, and giving them access to resources. So
Mm.
one thing that I want to talk about, and then we are going to talk about all these amazing things and these resources that you have. We're going to talk about fintech and RUAC the faith-based entrepreneur. But let's talk about resources, talking about access to finance, to capital, to build a business, and also access to information in this day and age. And I think those are the two things. So I wanted to kind of speak on those, how those can help any entrepreneur, whether small scale, large scale, middle size, those two things, access, how they can have access to information, capital, and what those things can do to their business growth.
Awesome. So yes, very critical, and this is some of the key issues we've seen are major, I would say, pain points or setbacks for a lot of businesses to grow. One of the things I really encourage is, if you're in a business, you're most likely within a specific sector. So one of the best ways to grow and get access to more information is to not just isolate your business, but join one of, say, your sector associations or associations that are involved in your area of business. That way you can get access to relevant information that you need for trade, relevant information that you need for growth. Again, it goes back to the collaboration. You can be able to also build capacity, your knowledge, maybe through trainings that are being offered and accessing that information. And
So
also,
you are talking about for business now to look into like association that kind of act similar to what they are
yes,
doing and be part of that to be able to access resource. Awesome,
yes.
awesome.
So like, for instance, if you're a woman in business, like I know in the US, I'll speak about Kenya because I'm Kenyan. So I know there's an organization that's called Kenyan Women in the US.
Mm.
And me too. And they are, I think they are over 10,000 within their
Oh,
network. So you see, that's
mm.
a powerful network to belong to. If you're maybe a woman in the diaspora who's looking for
Mm-hmm.
a support system, if you're looking for maybe new opportunities, so because you can pull from that, professional resources that are made
Resource.
available to you. So that, like here in Kenya, we have different, sector associations. So for instance, if you're in the horticulture sector,
Mm.
they have the horticulture association. If you do fresh produce, we have, the Fresh Produce
Oh,
Association. If you're
wow.
women in business, we have very many associations that support women in business.
In
Then we have
business.
umbrella bodies like the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, which supports, all the sectors in the in private sector. They bring on board, different investors. They bring, international partners that you can connect yourself to. And so, Victoria, goes back to what I was saying before.
Yes.
Yes, you can do business on your own, but plug yourself in somewhere that you can also get to learn from, institutions or organizations such as this. Yeah.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Don't limit yourself when you are part of these organizations, this association. It gives you exposure, it gives you access to resources, and also it keeps you up to date on what is going on in that
Right.
business space. So you kind of know the trend, know how
Right.
others are doing certain things and what is available. Awesome. Yes, ma'am. Move on.
Yes, I also happen to be part of an amazing association. It's International Consulting Women. So I have a very good friend. She's based in Washington, D.C., and has mentored me in very many ways. And she connected us to this group of international consultants from across the globe.
Hmm.
And so we have a monthly meeting with women in Washington, D.C., with women from across, the US, some women in the UAE. We're sharing ideas. If somebody has an ask, if maybe they're looking for a professional skill or support, we're able to discuss that on the group. Again, like I said, especially us in Africa, do not look at your business as a local business. You are,
Mm.
you
Oh my, oh my. I love that. Don't look at your business as a local business.
global business. Build your business as a global business. See beyond the horizons that you're in. Look for innovative solutions that can go
Hmm.
beyond, just your local hemisphere that you're in. And that way you begin to build solutions that go beyond just, um, the close proximity that you have, but you're actually growing a global brand. And we have so many success stories to tell from Africa,
Hmm.
brands that have grown just from local to going global and, just doing amazing, amazing things. I'll give you another example, Victoria.
Yes.
One of the ways that we can collaborate is joint ventures, you
Joint
know?
ventures.
Yeah. So, for instance, if you want to do business, say global business, maybe here in Kenya, the issue is access to finance, right? We know that sometimes we have predatory lenders and, the interest is way up there. I mean, it shoots up there. But nothing restricts me from having a joint venture with you, Victoria, and
Yes.
access to finance. You get the financing from
Mm-hmm.
that side of the world, right? And maybe I
Yes.
source for the materials to that side of the world. So we get into a business partnership. So maybe you register the company in the
Mm-hmm.
US, but it's to bring, maybe goods from Africa into
From
the US
Africa.
market.
Yeah,
So there are different
yes.
ways to look around it. I think sometimes we can be our own limitations where we
Hmm.
go to a and we're like, you're stopping there because that's what the bank said. No, I think, we have access to information nowadays through the internet. There are different ways to get funding. There's the crowd source
Crowdfunding. Mm-hmm.
funding, sorry. You can find out how to get venture capitalists. You can find out angel investors are out here. They're philanthropists who are willing to give their money. So it's about, again, connecting yourself to organizations that can help you understand that and then, grow with them. And then also, sometimes you can have, Victoria, what becomes information overload. You know, I feel like sometimes with the
Exactly. You have too much and then you're not acting on those. Oh my, talk on that.
yeah, and that's one of the things I'm challenging myself. Even with the entrepreneurs that I'm working with at the work business community, and I'm saying I don't want this time next year that you and I are having the same
The same
conversation.
conversation.
Can we measure and see growth? Can we say last year I had 10 customers, but because of being part of this network now I have 20? You know, that's what growth looks like. I was earning, this was a revenue we're generating, but now we're generating X amount and there's been that growth. You've increased your professional network. So it's got to be tangible. It's got to be that you refuse to remain stagnant and that you allow yourself to grow.
Wow.
Mm.
I really love the way you explain about collaboration, joint ventures. And actually
Mhm.
that kind of take me back to when you were talking about the scarcity mindset, right? Because when you're talking about scarcity mindset, sometimes we say we can be our own enemy. We can be the one actually holding ourselves back from
Yeah,
actually launching ourselves into that abundance. But when you look at it like, I don't want to stand in the way, I can partner with other people. I may be in Kenya, but then I can partner with somebody in the United States, or maybe Nairobi to another city, and we can work together. And that is thinking about, having abundance mindset. You are able to think of not just me, but there are other resources out there. You're talking about the joint venture, crowdfunding, philanthropies, so many things. And that, I think it comes when somebody really have the abundance mindset and not just really focusing on just me, what I can only do myself.
yes, 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 yeah. Very true, very true. So much we can do together.
Yeah, so much that we can do together. All right, so we are bringing everything to a close. I wanted to talk about, because you are a leader of this organization, of this movement, which is really helping a lot of businesses, very local to you there, the RUAC business community, the faith-driven entrepreneur. So I wanted to talk about those things and how people who are maybe in Kenya or maybe here, in the United States or wherever they are across the globe, can be part of what you're doing, can have access to this information, these resources. We talk about, having asset, resources, association, networking, collaboration. And I believe these groups will be able to offer those things and probably much more.
Absolutely, I'd love to give that information. Victoria's gonna say, Are you from Ghana or from Nigeria?" I'm trying to
Nigeria.
Nigeria. Yes, and the reason I'm asking because I love, I'm actually planning to just do a trip to Nigeria soon. It's
Huh?
gonna be
You're
my
gonna love it.
I love your fashion and I love your beauty. And I'm like, you guys are always a top notch ahead of all of us when it comes to,
Thank you.
and we had a big festival here. It's called the Rema Festival here in Kenya. And, we needed to get kaftans. No, not kaftans,
Oh,
kaftans, yes.
yes, of
And it's a
course.
yeah, I have a very good friend. His name is Ken from Nigeria, and he got us a fundi, a tailor from Nigeria, to
Hmm.
make us the kaftans.
Captains.
And And what was interesting was it was actually much cheaper for us to get them from Nigeria than to get them from here. I
What?
found that very interesting. And that's what I'm saying. So I actually told him, no, we need to go into that business. We need to get into business of bringing Nigeria fashion into
Fashion.
Kenya and
That is
Kenya.
another opportunity right there. So, okay, let me interject right now. So, if you are in Nigeria and
Yes,
you are watching this and you are listening to this and
yes,
you are a fashion designer, she just talked about having somebody custom made a lot of kaftans for them from Nigeria to Kenya. And we are talking about business growth. We are talking about the abundance mindset. We are talking about don't see your business as local, but seeing it as a global organization. This might be an opportunity for you. So if you are in Nigeria and you want to be able to do business with people in Kenya, we need to talk. All right, go on.
absolutely. And we can make it Nigeria, US, Kenya. Nothing stops us.
I'm open to that. I'm open. You know, each time I get to talk with women like you, my
Yeah,
brain is like, oh, Victoria, this.
absolutely.
And the thing also is that, you know, the joy when you see that what you're doing is adding value to other people, is blessing people instead of them just making small. Now they are making more. Like it just goes beyond just one person. And I always love that.
Yeah. So I'm very passionate about makeup and beauty. As you can see, I love to just glam myself. And I'm like,
Not you
I need
alone.
to be like, yeah, you guys have the best makeup and hair and beauty products. I'm like, I want to go and learn. I watch your weddings on Instagram and, just how you dress and glam. And I'm like, I need to go to Nigeria. So we
Yes,
can
ma'am.
learn from each other. You have a lot of nice glam and things we can learn from you. So there's a lot of collaboration
A
that's
lot of
that
collaboration.
would be
Yes.
very good. Yes, but in terms of the faith-driven entrepreneurs, like I said, they're based in over 100 countries
Mm.
across the globe. So you can go to their website. It's faithdrivenentrepreneur.org. You'll be able to see more about the faith-driven entrepreneur movement across the globe, and you can join from wherever. They have a chapter in Houston, I'm sure. They have a chapter in Dallas. They have chapters, I believe, in Nigeria. So you can just click where you want to join from. And then if you have a church that has a lot of people in business, and you want them to learn to discover their purpose, that God-given purpose, as they do business and how to thrive in the marketplace, your church can become one of the partners. And these resources are made available at no cost.
Mm.
So the 8-week series comes at no cost. You can plug into that. What we did is because, like I mentioned, our pastor is also a marketplace leader. So what happened is when we did our first cohort, we had over 400 signups.
What?
And then the second cohort gave us another like 300 plus. So we have now built alumni community. We're about over 700 of us, and we just continue to share opportunities. We continue to grow together, to learn together. So you can also form an alumni community after you do the foundation series with the faith-driven entrepreneurs. And then, it's easier to negotiate. It's easier to go to a bank and say, we have 100 women who
Hmm.
are faith driven. What can you give to us?
Hmm.
If you go to a bank today and you tell them, I have 1,000 women on my database, say in a particular sector or with a common purpose, they're going to listen to you.
You are bringing it to the table, and that is the power in numbers. Like that is the power in numbers, because sorry, I'm still going back to the scarcity mindset and the
Yeah,
abundance mindset.
yeah,
When you have the scarcity mindset, you are by yourself. If you go to the bank, like she's talking about, you go to the bank and say just for yourself, probably they will not pay attention to you. But like you said, if you said I have about 1,000 women in my database, let me tell you, there we put you on an appointment. There we have a special sitting for you. Right on.
Right on, yeah, and they'll listen to you and they'll create products for you, you know. So I know like Nigeria has, I think it's a Nigeria Women Business Association, that when we had a meeting in Ethiopia, they were given an opportunity to speak. I think there are over at least over 200,000 women in that network, which is huge. So yes, Don, you can. There is room for you to have autonomy in your business, but
Hmm.
there's room for collaboration, is what I would say.
Oh my, oh my. Hey, Joy,
Yeah,
you are really blowing up today,
yeah.
guys.
We need to do something now. I'm charged up about Nigeria, Kenya, and the
And the
U.S.
US. I
Yeah,
love that. I love that. We need
yeah,
to do that. We need to do
yeah,
that. And like you were
yeah,
talking, this is staying with me, okay? The scarcity mindset and the abundance mindset. I think that is what I am taking from this session for me personally. I don't know about the
yeah,
other listeners, but like,
yeah,
going from scarcity to abundance and
yes.
also seeing how, because you're talking about giving back, because that is also how we can give back, especially to those who businesses have thrived, who has been in
Mm.
business for so many years, who have the experience, who have the network, that now is an opportunity to kind of bring others up as well that are open to that collaboration. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we need to do this. All right. So I know because of time, is there
Yeah.
anything you want the women out there to know, especially those who are aspiring to have a successful business and those in business, maybe right now they're struggling with their business or they really want to scale their business? Any word of advice for them?
Right. So one of the things I love with faith-driven entrepreneurs as we close, one of the mantras they have, or something they strongly believe in, a quote we say is, "Don't journey alone." Yeah. So that would be my encouragement to that woman who's
Hmm.
starting, or if you've been in business for a while, don't journey
Don't
alone.
journey alone.
Find a support system, find a place you can grow, you can learn. If you have been established in business, find a space where you can help, especially the young upcoming entrepreneurs, that you can help them to grow, help them to learn, walk with them, handhold them. Yes, so I would say don't journey alone. God never created us to walk in isolation. He created us for purpose and to need each other, so to grow together. So don't journey alone, do life with others, and I think you will be in a much better space when you do that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. It cannot be said any better than what you've said. Don't
yeah.
walk alone. Don't do journey alone. God wants us to be able to have partners to do life with other people. So think
Mm.
outside of yourself, especially if you want to take your business from a local level to a global platform. Don't walk alone. Oh my goodness, this has been a fantastic session with you today. Did I miss anything?
This was fantastic. I really enjoyed my time with you.
Thank you
Yeah,
so, so,
thank
so much.
you. Thank you. It's almost 1 a.m. here, so definitely I'm gonna definitely take a rest after this, but it's been lovely being on your show. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Oh, guys, earlier I told you why I was excited. And you can testify to that, right? That this has been a loaded session talking about this business, talking about abundance mindset, talking about collaboration, talking about access to resources, talking about network. Joy has done a fantastic job explaining that, and I know you now understand. So, if this session has added value to you, if you've enjoyed every part of this session today, I really want you to like, I want you to subscribe, I want you to leave a review. If you are watching on the YouTube, leave a comment. And if you are watching on a platform, maybe on the Apple podcast, on Spotify podcast, or IR radio, please rate us and leave a review. This gives us joy when we see those reviews and we see those numbers going up. So everything that she has said it cannot be said any better than what she has said. And we are going to put the information of the things she talked about, talking about the faith-driven entrepreneurship. Entrepreneur, we're going to put the information here. We're going to put information if you want to connect with her. We're going to put all of the information also in the description. If you have any question, you can reach out to us. All of the information will be available in the show notes. But again, thank you for being part of what we do on this platform. Until I see you again, this is Victoria Showme. Continue to rise and continue to achieve great success. God bless you. Have a wonderful one.